The government of Eswatini is calling for calm after pro-democracy protests in the kingdom. It's refuting reports that King Mswati fled to South Africa. Protesters have since vowed to continue their demonstrations, which started a few days ago. Some shops were set alight in Matsapa. Human rights lawyer Thulani Maseko joins us now to discuss the protests. Thank you so much for your time, Thulani. Welcome to the show. What do you understand to be the situation right now in Swaziland?
The situation is totally out of control at the moment. The country has come to a jam, to a standstill. No transport, no banks, no shops, nothing. It's saddening indeed.
My colleague Den Moyani spoke earlier to one of the activists who is in Swaziland, and he indicated that 9 people were killed yesterday. We haven't been able to confirm this with the authorities. What do you know about the amount of murders, as the activists are even calling them?
Well, we are getting calls from all over the country. Many people have been arrested, many people have been shot. We're not sure how many people have been injured at the moment. We're not sure how many people have been killed, but the situation is getting worse. So it is true that people have been killed at the hands of the police and the forces of the country.
And the authorities, how are they responding to this? Have you, as human rights lawyers, have you tried to get in touch with them? I imagine there are a lot of stakeholders that are trying to talk to government in order to calm tensions and somehow control that instability and the violence in Swaziland. What are the authorities saying?
At the moment, we haven't heard anything concrete from the side of government. It's very quiet. Of course, frantic efforts are being made to reach out to the government side. There's a lot of appetite from the pro-democracy movement, including the political parties, Labour, and I think the church is saying, look, it's time for people to come together and talk. You see, the problem that it's difficult for people to move to get to a place where they can come together and meet. 1, 2, it's difficult for people to have even online meetings where government is suspended the internet. So it's difficult to communicate. But efforts are being made to ensure that the situation is being put under control through a collective effort to engage the government.
Yeah. And apart from engaging government, what is the call that you're making as human rights lawyers for some other kind of intervention, whether it's South Africa observing what's happening in Swaziland or the SADC community, that regional body itself? What kind of intervention are you calling for in Swaziland?
Of course, it is necessary for SADC to intervene right now. You know, I think what we need is somebody who can reach out to His Majesty as head of state and head of government to ensure that he gives himself time to listen to the cries of the people and perhaps begin a process that will lead to, you know, a new dispensation where the voice of the people who are calling for elected prime minister and elected government, you know, is even effective. Right now, we're in a state of lawlessness and anarchy. And this is going to continue unless a genuine process started to engage with all sectors of society in Swaziland.